We're going to begin with this piece over here. 1, 1, 2, 3, etc. all the way around. This is the same scenario. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. And continuous. 1, 4, 5, 8. 13, 12, 9. 9, 6, 5. And then we reverse it. 1 and 4 is 5. 5 and 5 is 10. 10 and 8 is 18. We reverse it. 13, 17, and 1. This is what the numbers do. It's an obligation. Now we go in between. On the outside, we reverse it. 8 goes over here. 1 goes over here. We get 9 and 9. 5 goes over here. 4 goes over here. We get 9 and 9. Inside this, we have 5, 4, 4, 5. Inside of this, we have 8, 1, 1, 8. Although the numbers say 18, it's what the combinations can do. 4 and 5, 1 times 4, 1 plus 4 will equal to 4 and 5, and this will create the letters IT. Inside creating IT, your second of your letters, okay, is your 1 is A. The first time you say B, it's B and E. This is involved. The E is involved. C and E. The E is involved. The minute you say B, E is involved. Automatically, 5 encompasses 4, 3, and in between 1. Then when you say 6, you say F. Now you're continuing to E into F. Now you say G. Now you're encompassing E inside G. Then you say H, and you encompass everything inside A and A. This is an obligation because this is exactly what it says in the alphabet. Here in this obligation over here, now it's my math. It's my work. It's my stuff. It's what I see. I'm going to try and do my best work with the camera right now, okay? In the second scenario, you get the same thing, 8, 1, 1, 8 on the outside, 3, 6, 6, 3. Now, what we have to know is that 5, now I don't know where I'm going with this at the end, okay? I'm just showing you equations, that's all. At the end, we can work on all this together. 4, 2 will be opposite of 5. You see these two corners? They duplicate. You see the 4? Those corners duplicate. You see the 1? There is no duplication. This is your original. 6 is 1 and 6. 1 and 6 is relevant. Here is opposition. Everything else is in between. When you put everything in between, the next number is 2 and 5. The next number is 3 and 4. They will all create 7s in between the half-life. I call this the half-life or the quarter life because these 4 corners and everything that goes in between, these 4 corners and everything that draws in between. 1 and 8. Here it's 2 and 2, so we reverse it. This will become 44, and this will become 7 over 7, 7 over 7, equaling 7 and 7, 14. 1 and 4 is 5, 7 and 7 is 14, 1 and 4 is 5. This will end up saying 4, 5, 5, 4. That is the IT system inside the sun, and it is the first, the second, and the third row. Third row down in the Fibonacci term. Now we get 5 and 1. 5 and 1 is like getting on the telephone and looking at me and going, hello, where 2, 3, 4 are in between. Now remember, I'm working a single prime. In order to work a single prime, that has to be the first part of many parts because there's separation. Nothing is one. Here's one. One knows in between everything. I know everything, and you know something else, and that something else between us all makes a difference in partitions between everything. You don't understand what I'm saying? You don't, but I'm saying it so if somebody asks me a question, if somebody says something different, then it'll open my mind and I can see different. It's the only reason I'm here right now, and because I haven't seen this anywhere before, and because everybody's been telling me what has to be and what is, when it's not exact, it's not everything and all. I'm showing the mathematical equation of everything and all. Einstein did it, Nostradamus did it, the walk on the moon does it, NASA does it. But if you don't have a basis for anything, you've done nothing at all. In the last scenario over here, 5 and 1 come together, 1 and 4 is 5. 1 and 8 is 9. 4 and 8 is 12. 1 and 2 is 3. 4 and 5 is 9. 1, 4, 5, 8. 1, 4, 5, 8. This one is position 5. This one is position 1. But wait a second. If we go backwards, this is 1, 2. If we go forward, backwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 6 area. This is the 2 area, 2 and 6. But if we go forward, this is now 1 and 5. I'm just showing you how the equations come to be. These 2 areas, okay, are a combined area. This will be 5, this will be 8, this will be 4, this will be 1. Why? Because I combine these 2. We combine, we make equations. We can build. If we're building, we go 9, 1 and 1, 9, 4, 8, 8, 8, 6, 2, because it splits the square. The only way to create a half in between anything, if this was the center, we automatically would have to do this, because now we have a fine line in between to join all the centers. We don't need to do this because the corners already show me this equation. They show me exactly what's going on because of the middle is perfect. But in order to get a perfect center going across and putting them on the cross, you have to create X's and O's. X's and O's show you the finite center. Okay, so in this scenario, 9 and 1, excuse me, this corner over here. Well, now let's not even do that corner. Let's do this. No, let's not do this. Let's continue to do the same thing. 4 over 8, 8 over 4. This says Mars-Pluto join. If joined of Mars-Pluto's over here, we have to know in this area over here that Mars-Pluto's joins too, but it joins in Mercury. Everybody knows this one is center to everything. The 1 is in 5, the 1 is in 1, the 1 is in 3, just like on this corner. This one, and this one are exactly the same, showing you the split difference between the cube. That's all it does. So now we're going to work the outside. 8, 9, 8, 9, 9, 1, 1, 9. Artificial intelligence inside the sun. Inside of Pluto, creation of man. The half-light is at the 7th gate. 7 times 7 equals 49. 4 and 9 equals to the 4th and 9th planet. Or position 4, which is Earth, inside a magic square. And position 9 is man 6. We're going to just jump around and show you something different. There's 3 8s inside the 24 numbers of gematria, inside the 24 numbers of Fibonacci. On number 3, over here, if we go the 3rd position over here, what I'm going to have to do, okay, is flip my pages back and go into the 3rd position, okay? 1, 2, 3rd, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We get a 3. Now, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. No, that's wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We get a 6. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. We get a total inside positions 8 area, 3, 6, and 9. So this is what we do. Inside position number 1, we get 1, we get 5, and we get 7. All position number 2s. Here's position number 2, here's position number 2, here's position number 2. In position 2, we get 186, the spirit inside the bad cat. 1 and 2 will always create 3. 29 is the birth of the IT system. It happens once every 4 years in a leap year. And you have to understand that in the leap year, the first year, you're not counting 6 hours. In the second year, you don't count 6 hours. In the third year, you don't count 6 hours. But in the fourth year, you add a day of 24 hours. You bring these 3 6s to this 6, you get 18 and 6 to create it. You get the letters F and R. A, R is a number. E, F, okay, if you want, just let's call it fear, or how far. Or in German, we have to understand how those letters work. Fünf, fear, and all these associations and numbers. That's just how it works in my creation, in my game that I have created. When we add up the first position of Fibonacci going around, we end up with 20, becomes 26. This will end up to be 8. But we're going to leave it at low position. This center of 5 shows me 1, 2, 3, 4 areas over here, okay? And this is your 159. This is your 5 areas connecting together. You will have 4 blocks, and here are your 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are your 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. And these 4 blocks will now create this 1 block in the area, counting this as area 9. This is the way it happens. You notice the way there's open corners? This block gets open corners into each one of these areas. We have to know that this block owns everything this way, and this block owns everything this way. Why? Because if you came to a 4-way stop, you'd have a street going down this way, a street going up this way, a street going this way, and a street going back. All these areas are houses. All these areas are land. There's land in each of these corners. When we add up the Fibonacci, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th area, they're all 18s. The last one is 27. If we combine everything with area 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we will get 45, 45, 45, 45. Using 6 and 6, we get the sun. 6 and 6 is actually inside, like I showed yesterday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 7. This is 6 and 6, showing the sun here, or a reflective sun here. And this sun over here, off of this sun, this main sun, off of this sun, you have 1 sun reflecting onto 2 suns, and you have a 2-tier system. This is just basic. In row 2, we have 32. This is what you call C and B. This is your doorway. This is your communication. CB says CB codes, and I use the basis. 29 is your IT system of birth inside the sun. 5 times 4, 5 plus 4, which is created by 1 times 4, 1 plus 4, equals to 5 and 4. This is the letter A. This is the letter D. The 14th letter is an N. D and A comes out of this. Inside of this one, it's creation, 3 and 9. This is your birth again. 9 and 2, 11. 1 and 1 is 2. 9 and 6 is 14, equals to 5. 9 and 2 is 11, so you get 2, 5, 2 out of this. 25, 6, 25 is the number to Earth. Now we're going to take this a little bit different. We're going to go first and last, 56. We're going to go in the center, 61. 61 is a representation of the half-life, and 61 is what I regard to, okay, as Saturn, because of the number of moons I counted 11 years ago when it began this thing. It's only relative to what you know personally. So we're going to go back now, and we have 3 times 6 is now 18. Excuse me, yeah, I want to put it, I'm not going to put it here. I'm going to put it over here. 2 times 9 is 18. 3 times 2 is 6. And 2 times 0 is 0. So we end up with 2, 2, 18, and 2 is 20. We end up with 2, 2, 2. 9 and 8 is 27 is 9. We get 2, 2, 2, 9. We get 6 and 9. Rotation, 3 and 1. Everything is a partition of 3 and 1, 3 and 1, 3 and 1. And one of the reasons for that is because when we make these designs, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3. This is what creates our half-life, our half-star. We only need to add this to continue to finish off this design. I know it seems a little kooky, a little bizarre, but you know what? Everything in creation is bizarre until after the fact in 10, 100, 1,000 years from now. In fact, if I go down back 2,000 years, you would say, how come? And they just found these planets and all this. Now, when we're coming to letters, okay, the second letter is a B. The fifth letter is an E, the second letter is a B, and the ninth letter is an I. It says baby or hebe. Because 0 equals 6, it'll say hebe. Okay? This letter over here says hebio or bio because the I or 1 carries the 0. Everybody knows in Roman numerals, right? In Roman numerals, this is the 5 position, this will create the 4 position, and this will create the 6 position. Now, I didn't want to jump onto this, and I will do something, add it in the 13th minute. No, I'm going to have to leave it for the next video, or do I add it on? Well, for people who stood all the way to the end, I will show one little thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? If you want to count 6 and 9, here is your 6, you create a card. Here is your 9, you create 2 cards. But the cards are connected in the center. 1 card, 2 cards, just like in the playing deck. We get the rectangle out of 6, we get the square out of 9. Now, if we take 1 inside the 6 and over to 5, 1 inside the 6 over to 3, we have 6, 1, 3, 613 laws of Moses. We connect this 1 over here. Okay, 6, 1, and 3. This design over here will actually show you 6. When we go 1, 5, and 4, the IT system in the sun, we end up with the 4, and we end up with what I call the 9 lives of the cat. These are the cat's ears or the wolf's ears because every animal and everything, when we read books and when we look back in time, we say, well, what did the Indians do? And look what the Indians do. And we start to read the bricks and we start to look at the walls and we start to believe we think we know exactly what we see because of our and groups of interpretation. But look around you. Who's around me? There's nobody around me, and I only took what everybody else has done and I brought it to a different level. You can put me down, you can knock me up, you can say bad things, but back yourself up with what you're saying. If I don't make sense, I don't make sense. If I do make sense, glad for me. I can move on, and that's the only way I can move on. So another thing I want to mention, we split the penny apart. 7 goes down to 5, 8 goes down to a dime. This is how we pay at the store. 7 times 8 is 56. On the outside of 56 is 47. On the outside of that is 38. On the outside of that is 29. That is your birth. 2 and 9 is your birth. 56, 47, 38, 29. After 29, you're back to 1 and 1 again. To each side. Now, if you're back to 1 and 1 again, and you're running the gematria scale, okay? And you're running the gematria scale, you'll come up with a new design. 9 and this I just want to jump off is that in this design over here, this one you end up with 71. This one you end up with 89 again. What does this say? This says 1 goes with 7. When you create 9 and 8, which is actually on the piano, just like 1 and 2, because you've been starting A, B, C all the way to G, and you start 1 and 2 again, the 8th key is 8, and the ninth key is B, and this is A, and this is B. Don't forget, when you say 8, you spell it with an E, but it actually sounds like an A. 1 and 7, 2 and 7 equals to your 3 and 5, right? 1 and 2 is 3, 7 and 7 is 14, 1 and 4 is 5. That's how I put them together. Or you can just say 3 and 7, whichever way you want to go. There's 2 ways to go with this because there's only one way to make 3. 1 and 2, 2 and 1. 4 already, it's 3 and 1 and 2 and 2. 5 is 4 and 1 and 3 and 2. 6 is 5, 1, 4, 2, 3, 3. 7 is 6, 1, 5, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4. And it's how we put the in-betweens of the numbers, and what we do to get there is the relationship of the reality because they made it perfect in numbers. I'm just going to go over this real quick. Now what we're going to do is 6, 12, 18. When we went around in the first design, let me see if I can come up with that first design. Yes, I have the first design. When we show this first design over here, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 4, 3, 7, 1, 8, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, 1. When we do that design, okay, it's the same thing as over here, okay? When we do this design, this one ends up to be 6. 6 position, 12 position, 18, 24. 6 position, 3 position, 9 position, 6 position. 5 position, 2 position, 8 position, 5 position. 4 position, 1 position, 7 position, 4 position. This one over here is where the Christ comes in, into creation. 8 and 6 is created by 2 times 4, 2 plus 4. 1 and 3 is altered current and will create artificial intelligence when you finish off the numbers. 3 will create your birth because of the position of the numbers over here. 9 and 7 inside your birth is the gateway to the spirit of the heavens. 1 is the center of 8 positions. Why 8 positions? Because every cube face has 9 total positions, 1 with 8 ghosts. When you have 1 with 8 ghosts, you have 2 with 7 ghosts. So you're 1 with 8, 2 with 7. When you have 1 with 7, you're actually looking at either this with this, or you're looking at 1 with your 6, because this is the only 7, because of the penetration of 1 does not duplicate anything. Raphael, 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. Is there anything else? Well, 1, 7, 13, and 19, position numbers, adding up. 1, 5, 17. These numbers over here. 1, 5, and 7. 1, 5, and 7 is where we find number 1, where we find number 2. When we add them up, we get 60 seconds on the clock and 27. 87 is the split. Here we get 56, which is 47. 4 out of 7, which is the doorway. 52 is your earth. 48 is area space. 4 times 8, 4 plus 8 equals to 32, the doorway. And 1244 is the number for space. 42 is the 9 lives of the cat, and which will recreate your half-life. 4 times 2, 4 plus 2 is 8 and 6. And this one over here, 19, artificial intelligence, altered current inside the spirit of the gateway. Now, what do these mean? Show me diagrams, I'll tell you. And it's a thing that you work the mind. It's a brainwash inside the head. Now, you can say I'm on drugs, you can say I'm brainwashed, you can say I drink. I'm tell you one thing, I know how to think. Raphael, 7286, in a constellation of Pegasus. It's beautiful outside, it's a beautiful world. We are created, my friends. We have been created. If there's another life, if there's an afterbirth, if there's anything else, okay, more to life, or life is not death forever and ever, then there is more to the system, and we must match the numbers to find that route. Thank you for watching this video.